Alright everyone, how's it going? I thought I'd be trying something new today. Basically I've been into photography a lot recently, so check me out on Instagram, Deck First Japan. I'll try and leave the links below. But yeah, basically I've just come back from a trip to Kyoto, and this was taken in a forest north of Kyoto. And I just thought I'd talk through like my processing basically. So I don't really have a set style, but basically I like moody, kind of dark, really dark greens, making everything just dark but keeping a bit of like clarity, sometimes soft, just things like that. Basically my own preference, so hopefully you can enjoy it too, but I'll just basically just do it step by step. So it's my first time, so basically if I'm crap then just let me know. But yeah, so I'll just walk you through it. So yeah, this is Lightroom obviously. Got all the sliders over here and stuff. This is the raw image that I took. Unfortunately I didn't take it on my main lens, so this is taken at 10 millimeters, so it's quite a wide angle. I mean, it's very wide angle, literally, that's the definition. But yeah, like aperture, shutter speed and things like that. See, it was actually quite dark in the forest, although it looks quite light here. So the ISO is actually 3200. So this isn't the best quality image, and that's why I thought I'd pick it, because I can show you just what you can do in Lightroom basically, even if like you just point and shoot and get quite a bad image. So yeah, what I want to do first is for images like this, I like to think back to what happened on the day. So on the day it was very cold. My recollection was that it was kind of not as white, not as bright as this. So first what I like to do is kind of match it, so just bringing like the temperature down a little bit, not too far, but I don't know, just like it was a bit too much, just something like there, just makes it a little bit more blue. Yeah, it's a bit too green for my liking as well, so you can kind of add a bit of green or like purple, pink to the shadows. So for example, that will just like make it all obviously like horrible. Good for neon though, that, and that just makes it green. So we just go up a little bit, I reckon, not much, just like 5 or something. So it doesn't make a huge difference, but it's a good start basically. So then the exposure, want to bring it right down. So basically what you can do, if you bring it right down, this will show you like basically what you've got in the image. So that would be like the highlights. If you bring the highlights down, that's what's going to be appearing, and that will kind of be like the opposite, like the shadows and stuff. So it's good to go like all the way down, all the way up, just see what is in the image basically, especially again for neon. I don't know why I'm not doing neon, to be honest, but basically we want to bring the exposure right down. We'll edit it like later. I like to start putting it a bit further down than I want, although that looks pretty good to be honest, because I know what I want later. We're going to bring up the shadows and stuff, but for now this is like a good kind of like overall start to the image. Contrast, so contrast is funny because when I was like younger and like basically a beginner, I always thought like, okay, bang the contrast up, but what that does is basically just saturates like the entire image, and what you want to do, you want to kind of pinpoint which parts of the image you want to saturate. Right, so if you just like put it all the way up, it just makes everything dark, saturates the whole image. I mean, for some people, like especially the upper half of this image, it looks pretty good. Actually, it looks very good, but because it contrasts the whole image, and I want the whole image, it's just not going to work. So actually what you want to do is just bring it down, not too much. Like if you bring it too much, it just makes it all look horrible. But if you want to bring it to like 10 or something, no further than that, it just makes everything a bit more like hazy, takes the sharpness out of it, makes it a bit more real to the image, especially when you want to get that moody feel about it. That's what I find anyway. Highlights, okay, this is like a big one for me. Basically like, okay, so if you look at the snow for example, all the way up just looks like horrible, all the way down doesn't look great, but the background looks quality. So that's the kind of look we're going for. Like if you look at that kind of like branch in the middle. Look what the highlights do when I turn it up. So it just makes the background kind of more defined. So I kind of fancy it. I mean, this is to your heart's content basically, but around 74. Shadows, probably bang it all up actually, because then we can see it. Whites, there's a lot of whites in this image, but it's a bit too bright for me, so bring it down. I don't know, around there. Blacks, what do we want to do for this image? It's already contrasty, so I can just bring it up a little bit. Now, clarity. We brought down the contrast because I wanted to bring up the clarity. Okay, clarity just makes everything sharp. Some people like it like that. Like, to be honest, that looks pretty good to me, but it does look too sharp. Like, especially the upper half, again, looks like really good, really crisp. But we don't want it that sharp. We want it about there. Texture, I like to add a little bit because it just makes it a little bit more defined. That obviously makes it like less textury. You can do either or, to be honest. Both look good. Okay, let's just go minus for this one. And then dehaze. I like dehaze because it kind of just makes everything a bit more soft. Things like that. Vibrancy. Right. It depends on the image. I don't have that many colours here that I'm working with. So if I put it down, it just makes it kind of a bit dead, so to speak. Like that looks alright, I think. To be honest, I'm going to be changing a lot of the things later, so we'll put it up for now. Saturation I'll leave because I don't really do anything with that. But before we do anything else, what I like to do is go all the way to the bottom, and these are like your primary sliders, right? So you can mess around with all of them. Today, I mean, it depends, but I just want to do greens. So you can either go down or up, and that basically just changes the greens. So for the dark moody look, usually you want to go up, all right? I mean, it depends what looks good. That looks all right. A bit less. That looks all right. And then you can just change the saturation a bit. So we don't want too much, but I do want to bring the saturation up. Again, you can change the blue primary. So again, you can do that. But then obviously you're changing like all the kind of like oranges and stuff. And it just, for this image anyway, I just want to leave it. Again, you've got more shadows down here that you can work with. So then what is next? Okay, the tone curve, which to be honest, I'm not great with. So maybe watch another video for that. But basically that's your highlights. That's your midtones. Oh, didn't mean to do that. See what I mean? I can't even like demonstrate it. And that's your shadows. Okay. For this image, I don't really want to do much. Like you can bring the highlights up. It just doesn't look good, to be honest. Maybe bring the midtones down a touch. Don't really know. Maybe just a little bit. And then basically this is your blacks. This is going to make everything black slightly grayer or not true blacks. So for that moody look, you can see what I mean. Already it looks that kind of dark moody. So I'm going to be bringing it up. This image, I don't know. Maybe about like there. So if you want to look at the before and after already, you can see we've made like some progress, right? It looks all right. So then what I want to do is like all these sliders. So basically you can do it just to your heart's content. I'll get rid of that. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to talk through this. I'm just going to show you how I kind of do it. But basically I just go down. Okay, see the change in color? That means there's some stuff to work with. So like, for example, this red, there's hardly any reds. You can see kind of like around here and here. You just got to choose which color you want, basically. So I'm just going to go for what I want in this image. I mean, it depends. I kind of like it up here, but then I like the trees having that kind of dark orange. I mean, it changes every single image I do. So I'm just having a little workarounds. Greens, don't want that much, but you want that dark feel about them, especially for the moodiness. You don't want that kind of green, you want this kind of green, but not that much because that looks really like crap. It's about there. Aquas would probably be in the water. Yeah, you can see the water like changing when I do that. So bring up the aquas a little bit. Don't want to change it too much. Can you see the background as well? See, that's the trouble. You've got the water and the background. So to be honest, just leave it. Saturation. Right, okay, let me just I can bang that down. Bang the oranges up. Yellow. This is all right there. Greens. Now you want to bring these down, and then we'll adjust it in the luminance later. Usually there's a lot of purples and magentas in the images, and they kind of ruin it for me. So especially with like moody stuff, you want to bring them down. Like, okay, so if we turn them up, look at the backgrounds, like look at all that, right? It just doesn't look nice. So you want to get that, just keep the kind of nice tones in it. And then for luminance, again, we'll just kind of like darken those reds and oranges a little bit, which is, again, it's just my preference. You can do what you want. If you want to like bang it up like that, you can. I just like these to be quite contrasty. I don't know why I like these trees to be full of colour and contrast. And then this is where we bring the greens up, basically. Not too much. Something like there. A bit more. Don't want the shine on it though. And then, yeah, that kind of looks good to me, to be honest. Then you want, I mean, you can like get whole videos on these. Today, for the highlights, I kind of want a bit of orange, not too much, about 20. So now you can like turn it on and off. You see, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but it just pops those oranges a little bit, which again is just what I like. And then you can do some like added things. You can like sharpen the image. I don't really like to go above like 1.5. Again, it just depends on the image, how much you want to do. Masking, if you hold the Alt key, this will show you everything that's being sharpened, basically. So at the moment, 100%, white is being sharpened. Okay, so we kind of want for this image, I don't really want the water sharpened, so I don't really need to go there. So about where the water starts to not be, about there, 70, maybe a little bit less, 75, about there. So that's just sharpening all this now, basically. And then noise reduction, luminance. If you've got a bit of colour, you can bang that up. There's not a lot of colour, so I reckon about 15 or something. Then you want to remove the chromatic aberrations, enable profile corrections. I mean, you can like do all this yourself. Yeah, see that just detects what camera I was using and the lens. It just makes everything like just perfect. Then this is the thing that makes it dark and moody. So vignetting. Oh, what do I want? What do I want? So you can just do that. Like, to be honest, that looks all right, doesn't it? It does look a bit strong, so maybe you could like just bring it back. But what I want is something like, I want a little bit, but I want people to look at this part of the image, right? This is the center, that's the waterfall. Not necessarily the waterfall, but just, I want them to see like here. That's where I like the most. So basically you just bring the midpoint down. See that? Now this is like the focus. Although I want to bring it a little bit back. So it's like kind of around there. And then just feather it off. Just kind of reduce the effect of it. Not 100%, but close to 100%. That just makes it like much more stronger. So we want it a little bit more weak. And to be honest, that's kind of all right for like just a quick edit. Yeah, so you can see that's kind of like moody imaging. I just went through this really quickly, by the way. I'd probably change a little bit more. I kind of don't like these oranges things, these orange places here, so I'll edit that in post. I'll probably brighten this up with a brush as well. You can use a brush here, like a radio filter. So if I just did it now quickly, like radio filter, or even actually if I just got like a brush and just hang on, make all this whiteness. Okay. Now, basically what this will do is if I just put the exposure up a little bit, make the temperature down, bring up the whites. See, that's just like making it a lot more easier to see. Yeah, just put the clarity up. I mean, you can do what you want. Dehaze it because it's a bit of water. No, that absolutely looks terrible. So you can do what you want, basically. But for a finished image for now, it looks much better than that, I think. Especially, I really like here. I might even crop it and just get rid of like all of the below, so it's just these kind of trees. But it depends on the image, like I said. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you know how to get a kind of moody effects like nice and easily. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more videos because I enjoy doing it. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram, Deck vs Japan, verse spelt VS. And yeah, stay tuned for some more videos, I guess, guys. But yeah, cheers. Make sure you like the video if it helped you out. Subscribe for some more, and I'll see you next time. Johnny.